A few weeks back, I came up with an idea. The idea was, why don't I add food delivery to my repertoire of gig opportunities? And then I could write an article about it and make a video about it. Here I am making the video. Harry said, go for it. So this last weekend, I drove around Sacramento with food delivery as an option. Now, I've had some specific preconceived notions about food delivery. In fact, there are 8 preconceived notions. So what I'm going to do with you is share with you my experience delivering food and tell you how those 8 preconceived notions, whether they're true or not, and my experience with them. All right. And stick around to the very end. I'm going to share with you exactly how much money I made delivering people versus how much money I made delivering food. So all that and more coming up. Stick around. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it is Jay with the RideShare Guy. Happy President's Day. It is the Monday after the weekend when I had food delivery as an option with Uber, so Uber Eats. Now, when I started driving in 2015, food wasn't really an option. But then these companies started popping up. So you can see Grubhub, Doordash, Postmates, Caviar, and then Uber Eats got into the arena as well. So over the weekend, in the whole time that I drove, I did over 60 rides of people, and I only got 1 ping for delivery. Only got 1 ping. But I got to experience all the things I thought I would experience delivering food. And I'm going to break those down one by one. Let's get into it right now. So number 1 preconceived notion is that parking is going to be a pain in my behind if I deliver food. So back when I was driving in San Francisco, parking is notoriously bad in San Francisco. So I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to double park. I'm going to get tickets. Tickets are very expensive. But then here I am in Sacramento, as it turns out. And the first and only ride I got, the only delivery I got was at a Jack in the Box, which you're seeing right here. That's exactly the door that I walked in. And parking was easy. I just drove right up. It was 8:15 in the morning, and I walked right in. So parking was not a problem there. But then I had to drive to this massive apartment complex. And given that it was, it would have been Saturday morning, most everybody was home, which means all the parking spots were full. And the only option I had was either double park in a small little driveway or grab somebody's empty parking spot. So that's what I did. But I didn't feel good about it. Number 2 is traffic. So I don't like sitting in traffic. It's very inefficient. In our industry, time is money. But if you're going to deliver food, you have to do it when people are eating. And when people are eating, that's when there's traffic. And I don't like it. I like to drive early in the morning because in the morning, there's no traffic. Red lights and stoplights are kind of optional. No one's around. Everything goes very, very fast. So number 3 is the hours. So I drive in the morning, and in the whole time that I was driving, I only got 1 ping, right? So unless I want to completely change who I am and my circadian rhythms, it just isn't going to work, right? Because no one's eating at the times that I'm driving. Okay, number 4, the smell. Oh my gosh. So I picked up the food, and it kind of smelled good. You know, it was fast food. It was as you can see, a couple of breakfast sandwiches, hash browns, and a few drinks. Had a Jack in the Box. And I took it. I went to the apartment complex. I brought it. I put it up, right in front of their door. I took a picture of it, let them know that I was at the door and got out of there. And as I was leaving, I heard the door open. Someone's opening it and grabbing their food early in the morning. And then I got back in my car, and it was like unctuous. It was the smell of fast food. It didn't smell so good when I got back in my car. So I got out my Ozium and I sprayed it. And as I drove down Sunrise Boulevard, I was like, had the windows open, and I didn't like it at all. Okay, number 5, the difficulty of pleasing the customer. So in order to please the customer, the food has to be prepared quickly. It has to be prepared well. And I have to get from the restaurant to the drop-off pretty fast so it stays relatively hot. Now, I've been the recipient of food with Uber Eats, and half the time it's just kind of warm to cold. And I don't like that, and that affects how I tip the driver. Even though I know the driver probably didn't have anything to do with it, but my whole experience isn't good if the food comes in warm or cold. And the fact that we as the drivers have little control over any of it, I don't like that. When people get into my car, it's my car, it's clean, it smells good, the music's good, I drive at a nice calm pace. I offer witty repartee if they want to talk, and all of that contributes to me getting tips and good ratings. So there's a certain lack of control with the food. Number 6, I hate waiting. So when I'm driving, I don't have to wait. The rides come pretty much like that. When I was in there to pick up the food, they brought out what you can see first is this soft drink. No, it wasn't a soft drink. It was like a mocha, and then this orange drink. And I thought, oh great, this is going to be pretty quick. And then I still had to wait 10 minutes for them to make the sandwiches and the hash browns. So I just had to sit inside of a Jack in the Box for 10 minutes. And I don't like that. I don't like sitting in a Jack in the Box. Actually, sitting in my car is not bad because I'm listening to a podcast. The temperature is controlled. I can drive around if I want. So that's another drawback for me, is that I'm having to wait while food is prepared. Number 7 preconceived notion is no human interaction. And this was absolutely the case. I did not get to speak to the customer. I did say that, hey, I'm here to pick up my food for my customer, Jamie. And the guy came and said, okay, here's the food. But that's not really a conversation, right? When I'm taking somebody to the airport, we're going to talk about where they're going and we're going to get into stuff, Okay, and finally, number 8, the pay isn't that great. The pay is not that great, especially compared to being a rideshare driver. So what you're seeing right now is what I got paid on this one ride, on this one pickup, this food delivery, was $5.05. And that's with a tip, right? If I didn't get the tip, it would have been about $3.50, right? So, and it took me, as you see there, it said 16 minutes, which I don't know how they calculated that. It was 5 minutes to get to Jack in the Box. It was a good 10 minutes inside of Jack in the Box. It was another 5 minutes to get to the drop-off place, and then another 5 minutes for me to find parking, walk, find the apartment, put the bag in the front door, and then get back in my car. So it's more like 25 minutes. And at $5 for 25 minutes, you can see I'm only making between like $10 to $20 per hour if you convert it into an hourly rate. Whereas with the rideshare, I consistently make $30. So, if I could do food and make $50 an hour, some of these problems wouldn't be such big problems. But since the pay is less, these considerations really come into effect. So what are the key takeaways here? Well, most of my preconceived notions are absolutely accurate, and I didn't really enjoy the food delivery experience, albeit I only had one. I did try and get on with Doordash, where I think I would have more deliveries, but they rejected me and said, you got to wait. They have too many dashers already, and that was about 3 weeks ago. In fact, I'm going to make a video about that experience for you here next. As you can see, what they said is we've hit our capacity of dashers in your area. So what do I like about food delivery? Not much. With rideshare driving, there's no waiting, there's no parking, there's no bad smell, there's no traffic, and I have a lot more control in delivering a quality product to the customer, which then ensures more tips and bigger tips, right? So for all those reasons, I'm not going anywhere. I don't think I'll ever deliver food again. I don't see any reason to. I love interacting with the customers, and that's the number one reason why I drive, and that's just not possible with food delivery. So if you have a comment about food delivery, go ahead and leave it down below. That'd be great. If you can try and tell me why I'm missing something about food delivery, but it definitely was not something for me. So I want to say thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like. That would be great. It helps the algorithm. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, subscribe. 5 days a week, we bring you great content to help you become a more profitable driver in less time. This is Jay Crater with the RideShare Guy. Go out and have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.